Crazy. I mean, yeah. Breakdowns for breakfast.
Yeah, that could have been a great intro, but I was like cleaning the spit off of my microphone as you were saying it. But yeah, breakdowns for breakfast. We're doing this first episode. It's finally here. We're finally doing it. We've been
That's crazy, man.
We've been talking about doing a podcast together for so long at this point.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, maybe like something up to a year, something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, more than a year because we hung out. This is something we did hanging out, and COVID's been for more than a year, so definitely more than that. We didn't really know what the podcast would be about. We have a lot of similar interests, as I'm sure we're going to get into in this episode. But it was it kind of just happened that this kind of worked out because of this. I don't know, you doing your Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and me doing this music channel, and I don't even. Well, you've been doing stuff on Twitch, music wise and stuff, so it all kind of aligned together. Yeah.
But I mean, I remember when we talked about like doing a podcast like earlier, like in 2020 or even 2019, 2018. I remember we talked about doing something like in person, like before the pandemic. Like that we wanted to talk about like a bit music, but more like photo and video stuff,
Right. Kind of merging a bit more of all of our kind of things that we love. Yeah.
I mean, we were doing, I'm going to talk for myself here. I was doing way more video and photo stuff like pre-pandemic, like,
oh yeah,
basically like as a freelance videographer or photographer, I've been like, I don't have, oh man, the English is rusty here. Je n'ai pas eu some photography and videography gigs.
Yeah, you haven't had any photo or video gigs in a while. Christ. Yeah. Yep. I've been fortunate because of my job, but I mean, outside of my job, I haven't. I mean, we've had a gig here and there, but it's been for the last year and a half. It's been like one thing every 6 months. Yep.
I mean, so, the two last things I did were like the Depths of Hatred videos, and it was like illegal, so to speak. We did them anyway,
Right. So, and then before that was just us hanging out, probably.
And we did the Feels Like Home video back in fall of 2019, just before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, honestly, since the pandemic's hit, I've seen you a few times, but I mean, I think we've seen each other maybe 3 times. Yeah,
three or 4 times, like tops.
I was going to say both Depths videos, but we were for the last one, we weren't even there on the same day. I did one day, you did the other.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, man, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We have to kick it again, man.
We do. But I mean, in the meantime, we've got this thing at least, so we can kind of virtually hang out. Although I can't really see you, you can't really see me. But I mean, it's good. It's good to talk nonetheless. I mean, we talk pretty daily, online and stuff. Send each other voice messages and texts and all that. But it's not the same as having actual conversations.
Hell yeah. Around some good music and around some cool place to hang too, because you moved like earlier this winter.
Earlier this year. Yeah,
remember well.
Yeah, it's only been a few months. Yeah.
Yep, and we haven't really been able to see each other in our 2 new apartments since I moved to. So
that's true. Yeah, because
something to look forward to for sure.
Yep, I mean it's looking up. Crossing my fingers. Okay. We're gonna kind of kick this off, I guess. We've been talking since earlier, but we haven't really introduced ourselves. We've just been yapping, catching up, right? So let's introduce ourselves. Do you want me to go first? I can. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be introducing the other person, so it's not as much of an ego. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but it's. I don't want to brag about what I do. And I'm sure you feel the same. So it'll be more fun to kind of spin it around. So do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Go first. Go ahead.
Okay. So Cedric. This guy, he loves mayonnaise. That's the number one. That's the number one fact you have to know about Cedric.
Yep.
Aside from mayonnaise, Cedric is a photographer, videographer, but his day job is, correct me if I'm wrong, you work in the VFX space for, I guess, shows and movies. And without getting too granular, I guess you do a lot of work with tracking scenes, I guess, within for VFX.
I'm in the camera match move department.
That's it. So that's what you do for a living. But aside from that, I guess you do. You have a band called Nephalite. It's one of the things we've bonded over through your previous bands and such. But Nephalite is kind of like a. I want to say it's metalcore, but
definitely.
It's definitely metalcore, but it's got a bit more of a feely side to it.
Yeah, feely and some. It's
a lot of melody.
Our first
fairly melodic.
Fast too. Yeah, pretty melodic too. I mean, we love like everything that feels a bit feely and melodic. So that fits the description pretty good.
I think it's fair to say that bands kind of like make them suffer are big influences, I guess. Maybe even definitely. More so some of their more recent stuff where it's still fast, but you've got a lot of melody going on, and definitely that feeliness to it. And then you have a Twitch channel that you have with the band, actually. So you've been doing a few live streams over there with the rest of the band members, which has been super cool to watch.
It's really nice to we've been doing album tier lists over there. So.
Yeah. Always some heated discussions amongst the peers.
Absolutely.
And then you have a YouTube channel as well. You have a YouTube channel called Barely YGO, Barely Yu-Gi-Oh, which is all about Yu-Gi-Oh. So you with the bassist in unfortunately with the bassist in Nephalite, actually you do that, right? So it's
we've been doing it for I think it's the 12th week. This week, we just like released the 11th video on the channel. So it's been pretty cool. It's been rad. Yeah,
you guys have been pretty consistent with it, releasing stuff every week, and it's cool content. It's fairly long form, but for just so people can kind of get a gist of what you guys actually do. You guys mainly kind of do unboxings, but then we'll actually play some games afterwards. So you've got a series going where you guys will kind of do like a draft thing and add cards to your deck, build your decks with those cards, and then kind of do that every week and build upon the deck that you already had the week before and kind of battle it out each time and see how many times Cedric can lose in a row. That's been the
that's pretty much it. Actually, we didn't release them yet, but I've been having
spoilers, dude. Spoilers.
Here. Some spoilers. So but it's in French.
Sammy's fans aren't even going to watch the videos now that you say that.
Yeah, exactly. I've been spoiling way too much here, but it's in French, so the people who's listening to this podcast might want to grab some plane tickets to Montreal to learn French before listening to it.
I'm sure Google is pretty advanced now at probably doing like a live translation thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Google.
I don't think we're there yet, but probably soon, right?
What is Google, man?
It's everything. We are Google. I think that's the concept.
Yeah, actually, yes. They know everything about it. So man, that's pretty much it, actually.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
I guess we could say, we're both kind of Montreal based. I live just outside of Montreal, but you still live in Montreal, and I lived in Montreal up until recently. And we are both French, so indeed, pardon our French, literally. And please bear with us if we have any blanks on words and such. I'm probably, full disclosure, probably not gonna edit anything out and just leave it as is. So
that's okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on saying anything that I want you to cut out anyway.
We didn't establish this beforehand, but we can square, eh? We don't give a fuck. It's chill.
Yep. Perfect. So want me to introduce you, boy?
Yeah, why not? Go for it. Try your best.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna try to remember everything you did because you did a lot, man.
I thought this was to brush off the ego, not boost my ego.
I mean, if it's the other that does it to the other one, it's okay, I guess.
Okay. Go lightly.
Dom Des was, started to be known as the first vocalist. I mean, second.
First.
Cal was the vocalist before. For a song.
Yeah, we'll say first.
Yeah, for the first vocalist for the band Depths of Hatred. Cool deathcore band that was like for a while. I mean, and again today, I think like one of the better and more active deathcore band in Montreal, and I'd say in Quebec in general. It's been a crazy career for those guys. They've been touring a lot, and you had your fair share of touring too.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we met, right? We'll get into that later, but definitely, yeah.
And I remember I remember seeing shows of Depths of Hatred and you were the vocalist, and I was like, dude, this guy's sick. I want to be his friend. You know? I remember saying that to my ex-girlfriend, like, in life, I choose my friend, and I choose Dom Des, man. I want to be his friend.
I choose you.
I remember saying that out loud to my ex-girlfriend. So I'm sure she remembers too.
Which is kind of funny because we'll get into it, but our friendship came pretty organically. It wasn't like it wasn't forced. It wasn't like you didn't really come up to me. It just kind of happened.
Hey man, want to be my friend, dude? Never happened like that. Mm-hmm. And then, you toured a lot with Depths of Hatred, and then you stepped down a bit from music and from touring, and you went like when we met each other, you started mostly to do photography at the same time.
Yep.
And you became real good, real fast to do mostly concert photography, and I mean to this day you're so fucking good, man.
I mean, we'll have to check on those skills eventually because it's been almost 2 years. So who knows if I'm still good?
I mean, I'm sure you have the magic touch still. So
I mean, all I do is press a button. So
yeah, I mean, it as we know, it's the camera that does the work and not the photographer, right?
Exactly.
And you did a lot of photography, and in the meantime, you started to do videography too. So you started to do to help on the clips of Depths of Hatred 2, as I did too. So we started to talk more here, and the more time went on, you had more contracts and more gigs, and you started to get better and more professional. And you started like your photography page, and then you started. I guess you start something on like specifically on video?
Well, not specifically for video, but that's what we mostly ended up doing. I ended up kind of teaming up with my wife, because we both kind of bring different things to the table and have a lot of generally similar interests and stuff. So that's been cool to do. But things were really picking up before the pandemic hit, and then the pandemic hit. So we haven't been doing too much since then. But that's always kind of been the goal of just doing a lot of those gigs. I think we're honestly looking more to do photography than video, but it just so happened that the gigs that we were getting, a lot of it was video. So people kind of came to us afterwards for more video work. So that's kind of something we have to work on.
And I remember, before all the Confetti Creatives and everything, and your career as a photographer and a videographer freelance took off, you were doing like weekly or even daily vlogs for a while on YouTube, on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I started. A long story short, I vlogged with my wife while we were gone on a 3-month like road trip across the US.
That's insane. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I filmed pretty much every day. Like we were constantly filming everything we did, but we're putting out videos kind of sporadically because we were on the road and we wanted to enjoy just being on the road. But then, when the pandemic hit though, I did this daily vlogging for a while. It wasn't really my thing. It was kind of just more at the time, just something to do, I guess. It just kept me occupied. Well, it kept me ridiculously occupied. But I only did it for about 3.5 weeks, which is still a lot. But one video a day was kind of hectic.
That's everything. Like all these things that we did and that you did, but like on your side more. Because I mean, I don't remember the last time I did like a video shoot or something. It gave you and it gave us like the skills and the discipline to start something like a podcast here. Yeah. So I mean, everything's leading up to this. But just to wrap up your bio, you've been working in the video industry for for some months now.
Yeah, it's been I think 7 or 8 months now. I basically
I don't recall the name of the enterprise you've been working with, but
it's Advice Studio Creative. Obviously getting a blank on my job's name. But we do, it's basically like a marketing firm. So we kind of do a lot of things. I mainly work on the video side with one of my bosses, and but we do a lot of design work, branding. We will we manage like social media accounts and stuff like that. So it's kind of like an all-in-one kind of production team. And that's been super cool just because I've been able to dabble with a lot of gear and clients, just have access to things that I normally wouldn't have access to on my own. We do a lot of music related stuff, but we do a lot of corporate as well. So it's a cool balance of doing a bit of both. Doesn't get too boring.
That's cool. And you have the opportunity to like work with like gear and video and photo like every day, which is a blessing, right?
Yeah, now. No, definitely.
In a like, I mean, post-pandemic world, but
right, yeah, definitely, despite not doing any photo or video gigs on my end, being able to do that every day has been definitely great for me to just kind of brush up on my skills and keep learning and keep at it and keep improving while I otherwise wouldn't be doing any photo or video work. So. Yeah,
and
definitely
for the
blessed.
Miscellaneous stuff, you love cherry Coke, if I recall.
That is true. And if the Subway machine also has vanilla, I will do cherry vanilla Coke.
Dude, that's like a way too big amount of sugar for one sitting, but I bet it's delicious.
It's delicious. You'll have to take my word on it.
As good as mayonnaise, I'm not sure.
I mean, I do also love mayonnaise. That is a thing, though.
But do you love it enough?
I mean, depends what enough is, and it depends who you ask. But I do put mayonnaise on a lot of things, and I mean, to be fair, most people outside of where we live think that mayonnaise and fries is weird. So you should,
really?
Dude, ask any American about mayonnaise and they'll be like, what the fuck do you do with mayonnaise and fries? It's disgusting. But
dude, that's so good. What the hell?
Yeah, but that's just how us Frenchies do it.
Jesus Christ. It's our European, yeah. European,
yeah.
European. Jesus Christ, the intonations tonight are not as good as I want them to be. But yeah, it's Europeans. Did I say it again wrong? Or
no, you're good.
I don't know.
Europeans. Yep.
Europeans. It's our heritage from like Belgium or stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know, like way back then if they were actually even eating fries and dipping them in mayonnaise, but definitely something heritage-wise for sure.
Definitely. In America, they only have like mustard and ketchup.
Yeah, which is fine, but
which is good. And I love it.
Inferior is the word I would use.
That's the term I was trying to align here. But,
all right.
Yeah, man. That's pretty much who you are these days. If I didn't forget anything, right? No, you. I thought you were. I was about to say, yeah, you're in a band now, but you're not in a band. You're not in a band anymore. But you've been trying to do some internet projects.
Yeah.
I don't have any news about that.
No, it's kind of one of those things where I'm fiending to do an internet project, but at the same time, I have a pretty specific idea of what I'd want it to look like. And as much as I put it out into the world, and this is going to sound egotistical, but as much as I got a ton of responses for something like that for other people, it just, none of it really clicked. There wasn't one person that I was like, yeah, okay, that's not true. There could have been people, but just a whole bunch of circumstances that kind of make it that I don't know. I've been waiting for like that perfect fit. And so far I just haven't found it, but if you play guitar and can program drums and know my interests and want to start a band like that, hit me up.
Hell yeah, man. I hope it's gonna see the light of day.
Yeah, me too. Pretty busy these days anyways, so it's always in those moments when I've got nothing to do that I'm like, yeah, okay, I should start a band. But that's the other thing. It has to be strictly internet based. I don't want to jam. I don't want to have any commitments outside of recording an album. And
I understand.
And just kind of, I'd be fine with kind of marketing it and doing stuff online, maybe doing some merch, but that's pretty much the extent of what I'd want to put in effort wise, for sure.
I understand. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, let's get into something else. Let's talk real quick about. I've got written down here. What's the podcast? So, I think to describe the podcast, let me just start by briefly saying, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're most likely watching it on the DeathlessTV YouTube channel, which is my YouTube channel. And over there, it's all heavy music related. It can go anywhere from kind of reactionary style videos for like breakdowns, like a breakdown compilation, or talks about different genres. But I want to do interviews there and stuff as well. So it's all kind of revolving around that. I'm really into deathcore personally, so a lot of it is going to be content around deathcore. And this podcast is kind of an extension of that in the sense that it's all going to be about music. That's basically the main thing we'll be talking about here. And
the thing we didn't talk about since the beginning.
The thing we haven't been talking. Well, to be fair, we're probably not going to talk too much about music in this one, just because I feel like just properly introducing ourselves and this being our first podcast as well, I thought it was maybe appropriate to kind of just test things out. So it doesn't have to be all metal related all the time, but that's for sure. That's basically what the podcast is going to be about. So I'm big into like deathcore, but correct me if I'm wrong, Cedric. I think you're super way into metalcore more than anything else. So we want to just talk about heavy bands in general.
Yep, that do breakdowns, man.
Yeah, just breakdowns, whatever genre they're in. And just kind of talk about music in general, but then obviously we can go over things that have been happening in the metal world and maybe take some deep dives into the past as well, right? We can go over some things that have that we were a part of, or tour stories, or just things
stories.
I mean, the floor is open, right? We can basically do kind of anything. We've got a ton of ideas for this podcast, so it should be fun. Like I said, this one's probably just going to be kind of like a big intro, get to know us thing. But that's what you can expect, I think, from the podcast. We don't really know like how often we're going to upload, how long the podcasts are going to be. I don't have a count, but I'm assuming we've been going for a while now and have gone through like 2 of the 10 points we have on this page. So probably a bit on the longer side than the shorter side, but that's all things that we're going to kind of figure out with, I don't know, how we can fit it into our schedule and how things flow, and definitely readjust as we do these, right? I don't know if you've got anything to add in terms of what to expect here.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much it. I mean, I expect to have fun with my bro and talk and chilling, talking about music, about passions that we have in common. So for now, it's exactly that. So it feels great, man.
Yeah, for sure. You can, for now, the way we're going to have it set up, I mean, maybe it'll change, who knows, but for now, how it's going to be on the DeathlessTV YouTube channel, there's going to be the long form video format of this podcast. And then there's also a Breakdowns for Breakfast clips channel that is created that is going to have shorter clips of just breaking it down by subject, something a little bit more digestible, searchable, and all that good stuff. And then we're also going to be audio only on all the typical audio podcast platforms. So that's kind of kind of where we're headed right now, content-wise.
Oh yeah, man, that's perfect. What a good intro.
I mean, yeah, we should have done it earlier, but
feels like you've been doing this forever, man.
I mean, I have gotten pretty used to talking to the camera, and to be fair, I haven't been looking at the camera not even once. And I'm just talking to my bro, right? So it's like it's not the same. It's definitely a different. I don't feel stressed right now. When I record my videos and I'm looking at the camera, there's always gibberish that comes out, and I forget what I'm trying to say, and I start sweating and all this stuff. But I don't feel
you're trying to be entertaining, but now we just like hang out. So I feel the same way when I do, like, the worst thing is when I do like solo videos, because when Sammy is there with me on in Barely Yu-Gi-Oh, it's super easy because
you're having a conversation. There's an interaction, right? Yeah.
Because when I'm solo and I'm trying playing like retro Sega games. And like I have to like comment and say everything that's going through my mind. Sometimes like there's bullshit, and I'm like just Jesus Christ. And sometimes videos like they last for I don't know like 50 minutes, and sometimes it's like 20 minutes because it depends on if I was on this day.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to force. That's something I've learned for sure. On the channel, I've kind of decided from the beginning that I don't want to record a video or force myself to edit a video if I'm not in the mood for it. And generally speaking, I usually am. So that's usually not a problem. I don't have a problem I procrastinate as much as the next guy, but I don't have too much of a problem of finding the motivation to actually do it. But if I don't feel like it, I'm just not going to do it. Like it'll be uploaded the next day, or maybe I won't upload for the week. Like I don't want it to become like, a burden, right? I don't want to start resenting it. And I don't know where I was going with this, but it's just.
But I mean, it's the for me. It's I try to apply this to everything creative in my life.
Like right. That's what we were getting at. It's you can't force it. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be cool, right? Exactly. It's not going to turn out as good as if you didn't force it and just did it in a. in a good environment, in a good mood, and all that. So
sometimes it's better, like to. I mean, it's the whole concept of quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can feel for people though that that's. I mean, we do this for fun, right? There's no money involved. Yep. There's no sponsors waiting for like a release of a video. There's no, and to be frank, not many people waiting for it either. So it's kind of a pretty stress-free environment, if I say so. I may say so myself. Especially this first one, right? Like this could come out in like 6 months and no one would know, right? Like exactly. unless we say what date it is right now, but I'm not going to sell us out. I'm not going to rat us out.
Nope.
It won't be that long. It won't be that long. But yeah, that's definitely. I mean, this is cool. Like we said earlier, this is something we've been wanting to do for a while now, and it's cool to just kind of sit back and hang out.
Yeah, as much as we like talk like on Facebook or while playing video games or anything, it's never like real conversations, if you know what I mean.
A little bit more video games, because we actually pass. It's kind of like a phone call at the same time, but you're always you're concentrated doing something else. So it's not the same kind of attention.
Exactly. I mean, in this moment, it feels like the same conversation we would have in French, like with beers and other people around, like speaking. It's just like a real hangout with a friend, like. Yeah, classic. As simple as that.
No, for sure, and I think that's what kind of makes it even more stress free, in the sense that even if 0 people listen to this episode after the fact, I'll just be happy we had this conversation, right?
Exactly. It's like, we had fun.
Yeah, just there's instantly no regrets. So
yep.
Let's go over our I guess our friendship or our story in terms of how we actually met.
Character arc.
The director's cut version of how we met, excluding, I guess, the fact that you told your ex-girlfriend that you really wanted to be friends with me.
It happened.
I mean, I've kind of got it lined out here. I guess we can start like the first time I remember meeting you would be through Black Chapter, which would have been, how do I put this? You booked shows with Felix, which later became a guitarist in Depths of Hatred. But you guys would both book shows for Depths of Hatred in kind of the suburbs of Montreal, mostly.
Yeah, so, I think the first place we booked you guys was in. I want to say Sainte-Thérèse, but I don't think it was Sainte-Thérèse. It was before that. You played in Berthierville before.
Yeah, we did that show too. Yeah,
I remember doing this flyer.
Yeah, that was such a weird show too, because we showed up and like one of the opening bands had like 80 people out there for them. So the room was like, it was like in a church, and the room was fucking packed. So we were super stoked. We're like, holy shit, like this is cool. This is going to be like a really cool, like intimate show. And then I just remember like the guitarist had like a Carnifex shirt. So clearly he would have liked our band. But he just party at my place, and like everyone left. Literally everyone.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And all the bands.
I know the guy. I won't say his name here, but I remember who it is.
All the bands. Christ. All the bands left except for the band that played just before us. So there were like 4 people in the room plus like you and Felix.
Oh my god!
When we played,
actually,
it was
you
so
say me
weird.
And Felix. I don't even. You say me and Felix, but I don't even remember being there.
Maybe not.
I think like we were. I was doing the flyers and helping with the booking, but I mean it's like May 2nd, 2015. So I was probably like having like school this night, so maybe I wasn't there. Like it was a weekday, right? I don't think it was on a weekend.
I think I do remember it being on a random ass day, like a Thursday or something like that.
Yeah.
But you were there. You were there in the Sainte-Thérèse show, right? Though.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't miss that.
That's my first like real like memory of meeting you, I guess. And If I recall, you worked the door most of that night, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and
I was like the right hand man of Felix when he was booking shows.
Yeah, that's it. So Felix would deal a lot with booking the shows and getting the band contacts, and people would hit him up to book shows, and you would help him out with the flyers and attend the shows and help out and do whatever's needed
like
there.
Film some videos, you know.
Right, that's true. Yeah. And so that was kind of where we first met, but we didn't really. I don't remember really talking to you that day. I know I just remember seeing you, but that's about it. But then afterwards,
as I said before, I was like super starstruck. For real. I mean, I said it to you like when we were drunk in Sorel, like in 2016. I was like, dude, you were like the biggest inspiration, man. Like at like 5 a.m. in Sorel.
Yeah, that sounds like a 5 a.m. in Sorel kind of thing to happen.
That's exactly it.
We eventually, I guess, you played in a band called Faithful Synthesis with Felix as well. So, which was the guy that was you were booking shows with, and we ended up getting booked on 4 dates with your band. So you guys booked the tour and you guys put yourselves on it. So we were doing 4 dates together, and that's kind of where things kind of started happening. We were looking for a new guitarist without getting too much into it. Long story short, we were looking for a new guitarist. We really liked you guys. Like we hung out with you guys every single show.
Yeah, that was cool,
and it was really cool. And we really hit it off with Felix, and who happened to be a great guitarist. And you guys did a pretty similar style music as ours. So after talking, we ended up asking Felix to be a part of the band. So once Felix joined the band, you kind of came along with it, kind of de facto, I guess, because then whenever we would play shows in the area, well, you were Felix's main boy, right? So you would be coming out, and you were taking pictures and stuff. So I remember quite a few shows where you would come and take pictures, and again, even at this point, we didn't really, like, you were there, but there wasn't really, we didn't really talk all that much. And it's funny because I started actually that Sainte-Thérèse show. This is funny. I remember this now, but that Sainte-Thérèse show where we would have actually first met is the first show I took pictures at ever.
Oh, is that true?
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah, you took. Oh yeah, I remember you took pictures of the first band. Was it like Dream of an Absolution?
The first like 2 bands, I took photos of them. I think that's one of the bands, but it's been a while now. But yeah, so funny enough, that's like the first show I ever took pictures at, and
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, so I started getting into concert photography there. So I guess I was starting out, but I wouldn't say that would have been like a mutual interest necessarily back then.
I think like we chit chat like a bit about like photo gear or something like that, but we didn't have like a full blown conversation. Like,
well, I wouldn't have been even able to have a full conversation with you about photography, right? I knew shit. I didn't. By the time we were talking, I wouldn't have even have taken a photo, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean this was a crazy lineup too. I have a flyer right here. It was Join the Conspiracy, Gorgé, Pronostic, and you guys.
Yeah, that's it.
That was great, man.
And so when Felix joined Depths, we started seeing each other more because of that. You took some really cool photos of us at a few shows. And when we left on our tour with Inanimate Existence, we were doing a US tour for around 3.5 weeks. We asked you to come along with us to do some photos and videos. And we were talking about me daily vlogging earlier, but you putting out videos every single fucking day for Depths was the coolest fucking shit ever. and you were putting out, you were taking out photos on top of that. You were filming the entire day on top of that. Like you kept busy as fuck, but you were putting out some really, really cool content. And at this point, I had been taking photos for a little longer as well. I was still kind of in the beginning stages of all that, but that's when I think we really started hitting it off, because you would need a space to edit your photos and your videos while we were waiting for the show to happen. And I would be doing merch every night. So we would both be hanging out behind the merch table. And coincidentally, I'd be taking photos on my side. So we'd both be editing photos side by side. There kind of wasn't a way for us to not get into conversations about photos, right? Like, I mean, it was kind of meant to be like at that
not point. To talk, it would be super awkward.
Yeah, that's it, right? So I think we both kind of really hit it off. Then I think we had a lot of other things in common, just, you know, a general humor and just the way that we interact with just, I think our personalities kind of fit as well. I'm not into people that are super fucking loud and obnoxious or stuff like that. And you're super like chill and laid back. So that was definitely for me. I was like, thank God, like within this whirlwind of being on tour, that single moment I could have was just hanging out with like a really chill dude that's super laid back. I was like, oh hell yeah. Right. Like
that's the same for me, man. Like people that are just like too expressive or like just the high energy nonstop. I mean, it's good for them, but I can't keep up with that.
Right. No, exactly. Well, especially on tour, I can deal with it like here, because it's like I'll hang out with someone once and it's just for a day or it's a few hours. Right. But on tour, it's super intimate, right? Like being that merch table was the only alone time I had. Right.
Yeah. So, man, for sure.
And now I was sharing it with someone. Right. So it could have gone wrong. Like I could have been like pissy and like wanted nothing to do with seeing other people. And it's weird to say that, because being at the merch table would have, you know, I'm still surrounded by like a bunch of people because it's a live show. But it really was like that only time where I wasn't with 5 or 6 other dudes trapped in a van, right? So
like it's the breath of fresh air of the day, you know?
So that's kind of like where we really started hitting it off. And I think we've just been friends since, right? Like we obviously have photo and video in common. I started doing a little more video so we started working on music videos together, even stuff for Depths of Hatred. You would come along and we'd kind of work on stuff together there as well, with Martin as well. So that was always cool to kind of collaborate. Just kind of, I don't know, just kind of like lately we've been doing these set. We haven't done a ton, but, you know, just sharing our screens and kind of showing each other how we do things in Photoshop, right? So it's just cool to have someone that kind of does the same thing, right? And just makes us learn so much. Yeah. So I think man. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but for me, it's been cool to kind of to have someone else in that space, right? Because I don't really have any other concert photographer friends or someone else to talk about these things with. So you've been my go-to guy whenever I have something to talk about, photo or video or audio or anything like that. So on top of just music and stuff in general. So.
Yeah, man, it's like it's basically the same for me, because, you know, I have a bunch of like friends like in bands or anything, like from life exterior of anything we're doing today, and I need someone in my life that's with who I can talk about those things and just like hang out, just to do those things, because I wouldn't like, you know. Felix is like my best friend since like, you know, I don't know, almost like 12 years now. Yeah. Like 2008. And then I won't go like for a whole afternoon like doing photos with him, or I won't just like, hey dude, let's do a video or let's do some art, or, you know, because he just doesn't do that, you know. Because we have other things in common with, and all my friends are amazing and I love them, but you're special in my life for this reason, because we can do things together that we don't do with anyone else.
Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, I probably would like to have more friends that, that do photo and video stuff, right? But that's just not the reality, right? And it's super niche, like concert photography in and of itself. Like if you go out to shows in Montreal is a big city, but there's still not like fucking 500 people that do concert photography in Montreal. So let alone people you would actually get along with. Like most of the concert photographers we see are like older fat dudes with their like 3 cameras strapped around their neck. Like it's fuck that. Like that's not the. I mean, no offense to them, but it's just I just don't see myself having that same kind of relationship, right? So. Yeah, so that kind of goes over, I guess, how we met,
dude. We forgot the most important thing.
What's the most important thing?
We playing Valheim, my dude.
Oh, I had it written down too, but yeah, that's true. Valheim.
Jesus Christ, we've been playing hard.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we've both logged 100 hours, and we've been pretty much only playing together. So. Yeah, and we kind of took a break in there. We binged all. I think a good like 75 of those hours were spent in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. When my girlfriend was gone, to work on a TV show, she wasn't there at all. So I had all my nights to play Valheim, and she's going again like this fall for 3 months.
I know that's gonna be toxic for our relationship.
Yep.
All right, let's talk personal music tastes. We kind of touched on this, but I've got written down here like what genre music do you listen to? Do you want to go first? What do you like generally listen to, like genre wise?
I'm just open Spotify just to see like everything.
Yeah, I had to do that yesterday. Yeah.
I like the main thing basically is metalcore. Like I mean, on 10 songs I will listen in my life, probably like 6 of them will be metalcore, or 7 of them.
Okay, 70%.
Sometimes I will like listen, I don't know, one rap song or one pop punk song, and then I'll listen like to 4 metalcore songs in between, you know? Mm-hmm. There's always this need to come back to like the riffs, the breakdowns, even the clean vocals chorus, man. I just, this formula, even if I know everything about it, like I can feel the chorus coming from like, a mile away. I just love it, man. I just love it so much.
Metalcore is kind of one of those weird things to define as well, because metalcore has really changed over the years, right? Like I have a tendency of saying that a lot of things are metalcore just because they theoretically they do fit in there. But like if we're talking Kill Switch Engage, but then you're also talking Make Them Suffer, they're like completely like they need more subgenres, I think, but I'm against having too many subgenres. Yeah, but they're like different kinds of metalcore, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think general, like metalcore in general still has like certain tropes regardless of like what era or what kind of sub-style it is. But metalcore is cool. I can fuck with it. I listen to a fair amount of metalcore.
I mean, it's whether you like it or not, it's catchy, man.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm a sucker for catchy, even in metal, especially in metal, I think, which most people I think don't expect. But I like when it's catchy.
And aside from metalcore, I really love pop punk. I'm a big pop punk guy. I have this whole playlist. I mean, it's not that much of a long playlist, but like 27 of the most banger songs of the pop punk genre. Okay. And from time to time, I will
really hate your hometown, right? And you love pizza.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, Joliette is very, very, very shitty. I just go back here for the good beer at Albion Microbrasserie. Okay. If you know, you know. And I listen to I love heavy music too, because I remember when I was younger, Felix in high school would show me like heavy bands with screaming vocals, and I would say like, dude, man, that's too heavy for me. I don't like scream. I would say this, and now I'm a vocalist. So I mean,
and all you do is
change.
Yeah.
So yeah, I listen to a lot of heavy things too. Like one of my favorite albums of like this year and the year before is the new Beneath the Massacre record, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like playing this album like in loop.
Yeah, it's. We'll get into that at a later date probably. I have a hard time getting into it. No shade to the guys. I just think there's it doesn't flow as well, I feel, as other Beneath the Massacre albums. Their last few albums have been like that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
More sporadic, I think.
Yeah.
That's personal taste.
To be fair, I haven't listened too much to the previous stuff of Beneath the Massacre. So this album I think it's very good, but maybe that's why.
Maybe you'll be blown away by the older stuff. Yeah.
Exact. And aside from that, I really love like stuff like Polyphia, Unprocessed, all that genty, groovy, poppy stuff.
Yep.
The Contortionist, Sleep Token,
Yeah.
All this stuff.
That's been our big revelation for both of us, I think, in the past year. Sleep Token is just on another level.
It's crazy, man. And like for all my life, when I was a kid, my parents would listen to like disco funk music.
Yeah.
And it's been ingrained in my brain for like 15 years. So even if I was like, I'm super tired of listening to it, Mom, now I have this whole playlist of funky music that I listen like every week, and I just like bang my head to it.
That's kind of funny because I've worked in bars, in like craft breweries for almost 10 years, and most of my shifts ever were there was a good portion of the night that had this kind of disco funk music playing. So I think I've developed the same thing as you. I don't go listen to it on my own, but I think I have the same kind of affinity towards it because it's been forced upon me by my job and not my parents, which is weird to say, but apparently that's a thing.
But you say you won't listen to it alone, but like it's really weird to say, but like before, maybe last year or the year before, I was very, very conscious of what I was listening to. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like
you were judging yourself.
Like, yeah, did you listen to like the new Lorna Shore album, or did you listen to that new super heavy deathcore band? And I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. But like, I would like listen to one song and not be like hooked by it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like go listen to, I don't know, Kool and the Gang and Barry White, and like, dude, that's fire, And rap music too. Rap music has been a new discovery for me for the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. I was listening like to zero to none rap music, and like out of a sudden, since I started to be in a band again as a vocalist, I've tried to listen more to rap music, just to have a new perspective on what I can do with the vocal flows. Mm-hmm. And it's been really, really cool, and it's been really inspirational. So yeah, rap music, man.
Right. Yeah. I've always had like a few like rap songs kind of within my playlists, and then maybe very few albums, but it's especially, I guess, maybe more hip hop for me. But I've always enjoyed that kind of that style as well.
And my guilty pleasure is power metal.
Oh my God. I did not know this about you. No fucking way, dude.
So much, man.
Oh, I can't do it.
There's always like a month or two in the year that I just need to listen to the whole Dragon Force discography, man.
Oh no.
I just love it so much. It's so good. But you can't do it. You can't share the excitement with me on this one.
I can't. I'm sorry. And I wasn't brought up on Guitar Hero, so I never got like Dragon Force was not just never a part of my upbringing.
Like in the top 3 albums I've listened to the most, it's the album The Power Within from 2012 from Dragon Force. I know like every riff, every second of every song perfectly. I can sing the whole song to you, the whole lyrics, everything.
I mean, you've got to get some vocal covers out then.
Jesus Christ, man. Mark Hudson, man. We see you, man. You sing so well. I can do it. I just can do like, but not like big singing. It's too hard, man.
No, I feel you. I feel the same way. I wish I had a singing voice.
I love hardcore too. Sorry, I cut you.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I love hardcore too. I mean, I love everything that's heavy and has breakdowns. So
yeah. I mean that's kind of, I feel kind of the same way. Most things heavy. I definitely, for sure, like deathcore. And then if we want to get granular, anything that's a little bit more technical deathcore is always going to be like my number one. I had a fear for a while that that deathcore was going to completely fade away and that no one would make new deathcore. But surprisingly, there's been some sort of revival in the past year or two. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but there's been a lot of really, really good new deathcore bands coming out, and I am here for it. So yeah, I'm definitely, like, deathcore has always been up there for me. I listen to a decent amount of pop. I wouldn't say that.
Oh yeah,
like I wouldn't
That's
say
a cool part of you, man.
I wouldn't say that I listen to 10,000 pop artists though. But the few artists that I do listen to, I end up really obsessing over. Like when I find a pop band that I enjoy, I just listen to it nonstop.
Like the album "Purpose" by Justin Bieber.
I mean, that was a great album. I mean, there's something about pop music, especially for me, when it's really well produced. I just really enjoy, and this is the same with metal. It's the same with all the styles of music that I enjoy. If it technical for me doesn't have to be the amount of notes you're playing. It can be how it's layered. It can be the subtleties. It can be the fact that the same riff comes up a second time, but is played slightly differently.
For sure, man.
So all these things, when pop artists get really good producers to do their tracks, sometimes it just makes for some just really, for the brain, like interesting stuff to listen to, right? I'll listen to, I mean, Ariana Grande is one of the artists, pop artists that I love the most. And you listen to her songs and the amount of different layers of vocals and how the instrumentals are laid out, it's insane. And for a while I'd listen to it with like shitty headphones and still thought it was great. And then I listened to her music on good headphones and I was like mind blown because there was just like that much more stuff going on that I didn't even catch the first times around. But yeah, so I'd say I'm really into pop as well. And then I grew up listening to emo, so that's always like emo and post-hardcore is always going to have I'll always have a soft spot for the genre. So if we're talking like nostalgia, like if I'm going back in time, it's 100% of the time going to be emo or post-hardcore. But yeah, there's still again, there's quite a few good post-hardcore bands as of late as well. So it's been cool to not just keep listening to the same bands over and over again. You did
a video recently about like new wave of emo bands, right?
Yeah, 5 newer kind of emo post-hardcore bands that came out in the past few years. And
that was great, man.
I mean, I had to do some research for it. I had the idea to do the video because I found out about a few, but then I was like, well, I need at least 5 or else this video is a lie. There isn't a wave. There's no. So I looked into it a bit more and stumbled upon quite a few like really, really good bands that are doing it now. Even more bands that I didn't put on the list. So no, it's cool.
Man, there's a real emo revival right now.
Yeah, it's weird because, right, like if I listened to emo when I was 15, 16, 17, and now I'm 31, and it's weird to be a part of, like, I think the revival is happening because us old folks are nostalgic for it, right? So that's how all these trends come back, right? So it's weird. This is, for me, the first genre that's happened with right now. And maybe it's the same thing with deathcore, right? It's around the same kind of time. So it's kind of just that cycle that kind of goes through. But I mean, it doesn't always happen. Like, you look at fucking hair metal hasn't come back in 30 years, but you know.
I mean, there's Steel Panther, man.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call Steel Panther like a genre revival, right? But
for sure, like it's more of a one shot, one deal.
Like a one off.
They're popular because, you know, they do like a bit of a irony.
Irony. Yeah. Which we'll get to talk about that for sure. I hate comedy in my music. I can't do it. I just can't. I don't even want to say a single other word about the subject, but just know that I hate comedy in my music. I just can't do it.
That's good. I'm taking note of that.
All right. Let's say if I ask you top 5 metal bands, recent, like what have you been listening to metal wise?
Jesus Christ.
I'm putting you on the spot. I had to write mine down.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I mean, I'll just go on Spotify just to look. I mean, recently, Landmarks.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That's like a post-hardcore metalcore band from France. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, the guitar player is the same guy in Chunk, No Captain Chunk.
I did not know that. Who are putting out new music recently as well.
Yep.
First time in forever.
Dude, it's just so good. The vocalist is insane. He's like perfect.
Yeah, no, you showed me, you shared me 2 songs, and I don't know why I didn't add them on my Spotify yet. I need to do that right after the show. But they're really fucking good. I really, really like the songs that I listen to.
Dude.
Super diverse, all over the place.
Yeah. They have like these songs where it starts super pop punks with clean vocals that are insane, and then it goes to like a heavy hardcore, like beat down, 2-step stuff, and then like the super like heavy breakdown with like gutturals, and everything is top notch. It's crazy, man.
It fits though. That's what impressed me the most. I'll have to check out the rest of the music to see how that holds up. But those 2 songs were definitely super eclectic. Like a lot of elements that you wouldn't think would necessarily fit together. Like you would take 2 separate riffs, like in the beginning and the end of the song, and you'd show them to someone, and they'd never be able to tell it's the same band. And somehow they make it work, and it actually flows. Flow is a big thing for me, and they have it, man. It's cool, especially considering what they're doing.
They're definitely great songwriters, and the vocalist is able to do like fry vocals, highs, lows, gutturals, singing. He does rap on the side. He's doing French rap, and it's fucking good. That's crazy. I just love the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a few live videos too, and they're perfect. There's perfect live too. It's the
style of band too that I would like to see live. Actually, I bet those guys are really like super into it and put on a really good live show.
Great energy all around. Man, second band these days I've been listening to a lot of Loathe.
Yep.
Because I'm a big Blade Runner fan, and like the new album by Loathe, the last one is like a atmospheric, like electronic album with like no vocals, no guitars, no drums, and it's basically like Blade Runner music, and it's so good.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I tried getting into Loathe a few weeks ago. I listened to their album before that and was pleasantly surprised by like I kind of skimmed through a few bits of different songs and found a bunch of bits that I was like, oh shit, this is heavy, this is cool. but I couldn't get myself to pull through an entire song. I have a hard time with the more atmospheric side of it, which even comes out in their regular songs, right?
Yeah.
If you can put it that way. I don't know if we'd call it their regular album versus their electronic album, but
yeah, there's definitely they're a band that do like heavy music, but with a purpose of giving like a mood or an atmosphere.
Yeah. It's very cinematic for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So if you like at the start don't like that much this kind of atmosphere, or if you're not in the mood for that, like you won't be enjoying the album that much, I think.
Yeah. I can see it being good music in the background though.
For sure.
Just kind of chill out music.
Yeah. I mean, third band.
I mean, it doesn't have to be 5. Just like
no, but I want to do 5. I love it. Childhood jams. No, I mean, since As I Dying put out their new album, I listened to it like through and through. I guess I could throw them in there.
Do you find it really good? I won't be listening to it, but do you find it good compared to some of their older material?
Oh yeah, it's really fucking good.
Is it better?
It's I don't know if it's
like take out the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because there's nostalgia attached to the previous albums, but. As modern metalcore goes, it's up there, man.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's really good. Like sick riffs, melodies always on points, like soaring choruses.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of singing on this one, right?
Yeah, a lot. I don't know if there's more singing, because like the previous album in 2012 had a lot of singing on it, but I don't think this one has more than the previous one. But like definitely a good part of it, it's clean vocals, but it's great. He sings really well. The bassist got better when he was in Woven War too. So,
yeah, that's it. Well, they already had a good like clean singing voice, in my opinion, but that's cool to hear that it got better.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been listening a lot to While She Sleeps.
Yep.
Their new album is bonkers too. Like their last 4 albums for me have been like 100% good. Like I like every song on the last 4 albums. So yeah, that speaks for itself, because as we know, I'm a big metalcore guy, so this is as good as it gets in the modern metalcore realm. So
we're gonna have to have a bigger conversation about this band, because we briefly talked about this the other day. How I find it really cool how just their whole like Patreon and like their warehouse and all this stuff nice. All the art that they've been doing around the releases and stuff too. So yeah, definitely a cool band. But yeah, the music is great.
Yep, for sure, man. I think that's it. So what's your top 5, man?
I mean, I went super simple. I went to my like Spotify stats and checked out what my most listened to bands were for the past 6 months.
How do you know? How do you see this?
If you type, I think it's called Stats for Spotify, but let me look it up. Stats for Spotify. Yeah, statsforspotify.com.
I need to know.
It's fairly rudimentary, but it works. Ooh. That's where I got my info. There's like more ads than actual content, but
artists.
It works. Yeah, there's artists, albums, and
last 4 weeks all time. Yep, all time is Northlane, As I Dying, Counterparts, Ice Nine Kills.
Oh, okay.
While She Sleeps. CD and Collar, Vulgaire Machin in Quebec.
Oh, no way.
Dude, that's so good. You like it?
In your all time.
The third one.
In all time.
Yep.
And all time is weird because I usually track all my listening through last.fm. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, what is it?
It's basically like it's a tracker for what you listen to, and it kind of puts it into charts and stuff. But I've been using it since I started listening to music. So it's been tracking everything I've been listening to. I think it's got like a few years, like 4 years or something, where I had an Android phone, and back then there was no way to like have it connect to like the whatever like Google Play app or whatever I used to play like my music on. But aside from that, it goes all the way back to, well, I mean, not since I started listening to music, but like definitely like back to the emo days. It's like since I've been like 15. So it's kind of weird to look at, because if I put all time, I used to listen to a lot more. I used to binge a lot more music when I was younger than I do now. Yeah. So if I put it at all time, all my all time bands are like from way back in the day. So it's kind of like weird. I'm like, oh, come on guys. Like these aren't my favorite bands. Like what the fuck? I was looking at it, I think yesterday, like LMFAO is like 22nd on my list, and I was fucking pissed about it.
Jesus Christ. What a throwback, man. Dude, there's this whole thing with Spotify where I will avoid listening to some bands because I know at the end of the year I'll have the recap and I don't want people to see that I've listened to those bands. I don't know if you do this, but I do this.
It's hard to listen to music in 2021 being judged.
Because I like my fair share of like gangster rap, and I like my fair share of funny gangster rap, and I like my fair share of funny francophone gangster rap. So I like to listen to Les Anticipateurs sometimes. Yeah, and I don't want anyone to know.
You've got like a burner iPhone on the side, so you can listen to it there, and no one tracks it.
Exactly, because I know it's misogynistic, and I know it's like super like, I mean, it's not racist, but it's there's this whole
there's this thing around appropriation and all that.
I'm not, a disclaimer, I'm not like, how could I say it in English? I don't
how'd you say it in French?
Je cautionne absolument pas ce que ces gens-là disent dans leurs chansons.
Right, you're not backing what these people say. It's just music you listen to. Yeah. No,
I
get
like
what you mean.
Gangster French rap, and I love it sometimes. So that's it. Yep. What are the other artists, man? I want to know.
Well, no, okay. I've got like my 6 months like top metal bands. Let's say I've got this list here.
Yeah.
Brand of Sacrifice.
For sure.
I mean,
great new album.
Yeah, and the one before that and the one before that. So it's just kind of...
everything's good.
Yeah, ever since they've been putting out music, I've just been kind of binging it. And then in second spot, I actually have the Black Dahlia Murder. But
me too.
But well, guess why? So we've been binging the Black Dahlia Murder albums front to back, their entire discography, me and you, because we're going to do like a tier list thing on your Twitch channel. So, man, I listened to every single album. That's like 9 albums of like 12 songs each. So yeah, it skyrocketed to the top. I don't listen to any other band that much, but so it went to second. Brand of Sacrifice was still first. I still did listen to more Brand of Sacrifice somehow than the 9 Black Dahlia Murder albums. But so there's that. But I mean, joking aside, I mean, Black Dahlia Murder is probably one of my bigger like death metal influences in general.
The riffs, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean, I'm not even mad. Then I've got Crown Magnetar. Do you know those guys?
Ooh, no. What is it? I think you send a song in the Discord channel, right?
Well, yeah, probably. I included him in one of my recent videos as well. It's they just do like super fast but brutal kind of deathcore. It's super fast, and they have a way of having slight slam influences, but there is basically no slam vocals and very minimal slam riffs, which is kind of rare for deathcore bands coming out nowadays.
It's good news for me because I'm not the biggest fan of slam.
Yeah, me neither. That's the thing. Yeah. But it's like a kind of I want to compare to like Aversion's Crown, kind of like take out the choruses and stuff that Aversion's Crown has been doing more in their more recent albums, but like it's just like super heavy breakdowns, really fast riffs, blast beats all around, and the vocalist
is crazy too.
The vocalist is Crown Magnetar. Yeah.
What is the best song?
What
song?
The best song? I really like.
Crown Magnetar.
I think it's called Icon of Sin. I think is the name of the song, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Looks like the look of the band is like they look heavy, they look powerful.
Yeah,
the Codex of Flesh. Codex of Flesh. Yeah, that's their latest album. Dude. Yeah. That album specifically is really, really fucking good. Cool production too. It actually sounds really good. Dude, I'll definitely check it out. By the looks of it, looks fucking good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, that's been some of my favorite for music that's come out as of late. I've got Bleed From Within, which is just my go-to metalcore band. Like for me, they are the top tier best metalcore band. Like when someone, if someone asks me to define metalcore, like good metalcore, I refer to Bleed From Within. Like that's my kind of metalcore that I really enjoy because it's technical enough. It's got a ton of melody. It's mainly heavy groovy, from start to finish. Like it's not like a metalcore band that's got like a lot of singing choruses and stuff like that. It's more straight to the point.
No clean vocals.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of clean vocals on the more recent albums.
Yeah.
But there's really there's not that much, and the way they do it on the songs that they do have clean singing in them is fucking amazing. Like I was very taken aback when they put out their first single for their latest album that had
The End of All We Know.
Yeah, it has a bunch of clean singing on it, and that kind of scared the shit out of me.
It in my latest tracks, but I listen to it so much.
It's an amazing track, and like I think the first time around I was like, ooh, clean vocals, what the fuck? And then by the end of the song, I was already hooked. I was like, yeah, no, sign me up. This is fucking great.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, they've just got
production is insane too.
Right, they've always had great production, but it's just the style of riffing and how the riffing is just that's my type of shit.
Oh yeah, man, I feel you on this.
And then I guess 5 would be Thy Art Is Murder, and I'm not really sure how.
Really?
I just think I have most of Thy Art Is Murder's albums on my Spotify, so it gets played a lot, like kind of by default, and I just don't skip it. Like I used to love Thy Art Is Murder. I don't really enjoy their later material, like definitely not nearly as much. It's not bad, but it's definitely not like the same kind of enjoyment I get out of it. But I still listen to them when they come on. There's just like a few songs that are super corny on the later albums that I'm like, yeah, no, I'll skip those. But I don't want to throw shit, but some of those songs just have really corny lyrics, and I have a hard time. Taking it serious.
I agree with you. I think, like, again, no shade against the boys in Thy Art of Murder if they ever listen to this podcast, but I think they how can I say this? I know the words, but it's like formulating my sentence. They have been they move from the hype new top deathcore band to like the boomer deathcore.
Yeah,
if it makes sense.
Yeah, I saw a meme not too long ago that was kind of, how'd they put it? They referred to them as like it's like when your uncles play deathcore.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant. Like you can't stay relevant like for so long with that kind of music when you don't like push the boundaries a bit. I think that's Shadow of Intent, Lorna Shore, Brent. I mean, since Brands of Sacrifice, like exist. I don't have any like goal to listen to Tired is Murder. Why would I listen to
newer
Tired
bands
is Murder
have just been doing it better, so it just kind of makes them obsolete. Yeah.
Why would I listen to any other thing than like Lorna Shore or Brand of Sacrifice or Shadow of Intent?
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, I feel what you mean.
They have everything, and
it's funny though, because Tired is Murder was that. Right. Mm-hmm. They were that band when Hate came out, and we're kind of blowing every other deathcore band out of the water. Like, why the fuck would you listen to something else? Why would I listen to Whitechapel when I can listen to Tired is Murder now? Right. Like that's what it used to be. But I guess times change. Some bands progress. I mean, they've been doing great, like album like sales wise and stream wise, and their shows are fucking huge, packed and doing these fucking huge ass festivals and stuff. So I mean, all the power to them. It's just for people that enjoyed their music for what it was back in the day. It's just there's other things to listen to now, right?
Yep, exactly. I just want to point out something that I forgot to say about my top 5 bands.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months, the band I listened to the most is Era.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's so good.
And probably for the 6 months before that, and the month before that, and the 6 months before that too, right?
Yep.
I haven't, full disclosure, I'm kind of ashamed. I haven't listened to their new album is out, right?
Yep. And it's good.
Yeah, no, the few songs I listened to were fucking amazing. I completely just left them out. I don't know why. I need to go listen to that. They went back to being super fucking heavy.
Yep, they're heavy, and I mean, they like many bands when they try to like, I don't know, how do I say it? When they try to
people say
find themselves again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
They tend to like release an album where they do the best of what they do in both parts. Like they do the best clean copy choruses they can do, and they simultaneously do the heaviest and like fastest and strongest like metal songs ever too, like and that's what's happening here. It's just like amazing. Every song is heavy, every song is like melodic, every song is super catchy. It's like perfect.
Yeah, I need to go check it out for sure, because I've been meaning to do it. I honestly don't know why I haven't listened to it yet.
10 on 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right. I mean, we've only got like a couple, because we're running into a bit of a long podcast on this first one, but I think we should still go through these three more brief kind of things. I guess we kind of touched on this next one. Like what got you into metal? Do you remember like a specific moment or band that would have kind of opened your world up to more bands, like or maybe a friend that showed you bands, or like how'd that happen for you?
I was I think I was in 5th or 6th grade, and
that's young as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
And I was playing like, like NHL, like 2007, 6, 8. And, there's like heavy-ish
the gateway drug.
Yeah, there's like Avenged Sevenfold, like 3 Days Grace kind of stuff here. And then I was like, oh, what is this band? And then I find out it was 3 Days Grace. So I went to buy the album Wonix by 3 Days Grace. And the first song, it's called It's All Over. Like the first goddamn riff is so heavy. And I was like, whoa, that's good. And then, I liked the vocals of Adam Gauthier back in the day, like the super, like, like gritty voice with a, baritone, something like this.
Yeah.
And then, when I was young, I didn't have internet. I got internet in my home when I was in like, I was in high school, but I wasn't like 2010, 2011.
Sure.
I was like in secondaire 3, 4. It's like, I mean, everyone had internet like for, 5 or 6 years beforehand. And I was like the latest to the party.
Okay.
So I was going to like the library.
What were your websites and stuff?
Yep, exactly. And I was playing Dofus, listening to Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
and I thought like Almost Easy was the heaviest song ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit, that's metal, that's crazy. And I didn't like screaming vocals back then either. So yeah, it for me the gateway drug was hard rock. And then I think the first metal band, like heavy metal band I listened to was Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay. So
like the
getting
album,
into metalcore and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, like The Poison and Screaming Fire was like the two first, fast-paced metal albums I listened to.
Right. I mean, they had some airplay, right? Like on Much Music and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But disclaimer,
like Tears Don't Fall and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't have cable too, so I wouldn't listen to Music Plus or Much Music.
Me neither. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Like Bullet, 3 Days Grace, Avenged Sevenfold, Green Day a lot before that, but I mean it's punk, so it's kind of heavy sometimes. But yeah.
I mean, it falls under like the alternative bracket, but I think most people go through Green Day, right? Like regardless of ending up listening to something heavy or not. But I mean, most people probably don't listen to Bullet for My Valentine, and that's their only metal band they've listened to ever, right? Exactly. That's it kind of progresses into something else. Yeah. Yeah,
What about you, man?
I mean, my like fetish band was Linkin Park, so I guess.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't say it, but Linkin Park was everything to me.
Right, but you didn't like screaming though, and if you didn't like screaming though, right?
It wasn't like screaming. It was like a bit of fry vocals with,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I liked Linkin Park, but I didn't like big death metal screams.
Yeah. No, it's the gutturals are different, but yeah. So I mean, I listened to an incredible amount of Linkin Park. I was on the fucking fan club. I've got this signed poster. Underground. Yeah, I've got a signed poster of them that I actually have to put on eBay or something, because I've been realizing as of late that's worth a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah, man.
but yeah, sure. So I listened to a lot of Linkin Park, and then but this was at the time that I was mainly listening to radio. Right? Like I didn't really have that many CDs. CDs I had were more like Sum 41, like Blink 182,
Sum 41,
Good Charlotte, stuff like that. And eventually I just kind of got bored of the what was playing on the radio, and was bored of the CDs I had. And my friend had given me an Alexis on Fire CD, the first CD, the self-titled, and he gave it to me on my birthday. And this is 8th, 9th. This would be 8th grade, I guess, at the end of the year. And probably like in 9th grade at some point, I was just fed up with all the shit that I was listening to. Like he showed me like the first song off the album and was like, yo, you got to listen to this. It's so fucking good. And I kind of brushed it off because it started screaming, and it's like really fucking like annoying screaming if you're not into that stuff. Super like high pitched, like kind of distorted vocals, and I brushed it off. I was like, oh, I don't like this. And then maybe like 6 months later, I just didn't enjoy anything I was listening to. I was in my room and I was like, let me put the CD back in. And for whatever reason, it clicked. Like it was just this moment of like, aha, like this is the shit. And I just remember falling in love with, and I just remember like falling in love with that album. I think Watch Out came out not too long after that, so I was able to get like their follow-up album. And then whenever I didn't have cable either, but I did go to my grandparents' place and they had cable, and then watching cable is the only thing I would do when I was at my grandparents. So there was like the random like punk like segments where I found out about like Yellow Card and like Story of the Year. I mean, both of those
Story of the Year goes way back.
Yeah, so I mean, not metal again, but always bringing me closer to just other music with screaming. And then I guess at some point or another within that, like MySpace came into play, and I got into MySpace, the internet, and then just for whatever reason, I guess MySpace was really big on metal and like deathcore specifically, and deathcore was just coming up when I started using MySpace. It was just starting to be a thing. And just through, I guess, friends that I made, I have this one guy I knew, Baker. Shout out to Andrew Baker. He actually, I was getting into metal and I was having a hard time finding like metal bands or downloading music and stuff like that. And he had an account on this like file sharing thing called SoulSeek. And essentially it's like,
what?
He would have his entire library of music on SoulSeek, and it was essentially like LimeWire where you could download different files, but I could access his files directly. So he just like sent me a link to all of the music that he had. And he's like he's always been ridiculously into like everything, like from old school death metal to then it was deathcore and just like everything in between. And he just gave me like a list of bands to download off of his SoulSeek, and I just downloaded the shit out of that. And I remember it was like Cephalic Carnage, and then it was mixed with like Devourment, Suffocation, but then there were deathcore bands too. So there was like some Whitechapel and Job for a Cowboy, and some of those.
You went from Story of the Year to Cephalic Carnage.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus fucking.
Basically
Christ.
in one go. Yeah, because I like I said, like MySpace introduced me to a few deathcore bands, and maybe I was listening to some stuff there, but it was all off the player. So I was starting to have an interest in all that. So it wasn't like I had never heard like a deathcore band before, but I definitely hadn't heard like a death metal band. And all those bands that he made me download, that was just like the beginning of me exploring a ton within like the death metal and deathcore space. And then, I mean, just MySpace was great back in the day, just for discovering new bands. Just, you like a band, you go to their top 8, you see what other bands are in the top 8, you go to their page, you could click on their music right there and then, along with the photos and everything else going on, tours posted and stuff. So it was a great platform for discovering new bands when you already kind of were in like a part of a scene, like when you kind of already knew what you were looking for. It was super easy to find something else in the same genre. And yeah, that was just like my gateway to everything deathcore, and I guess 15 years later, still elbows deep in the in the deathcore realm.
Dude, that's crazy, man. I think I never like went on MySpace ever.
Yeah, but I mean, because how old are you? We're like a good few years apart.
I just turned 25.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So we're 6 years apart. So that's enough of a gap. I mean, 6 years from when I started using MySpace wasn't a thing anymore. So, I mean, it makes sense. I moved to Montreal and I tried using MySpace to like meet new people and band members and stuff. And it worked, but like the place was like, MySpace was dead. Like most people weren't using it anymore, and that was when I was
MSN after that.
Well, even MSN was on its way out, because the second Facebook hit, it just killed everything off. Like Messenger was a thing, so you didn't need MSN anymore. It was right in your Facebook, and everyone you knew was on Facebook. So there was like no reason to have another platform to keep track of people and talk with them, right?
We could say Mark Zuckerberg zucked MySpace out of existence.
Yeah, he sucked MySpace for sure, and MSN. I'm still fucking pissed about it. If I ever meet him, I'm gonna tell him.
Dude, I remember when Facebook came out and there was still MSN, and I was like writing to people on Facebook, "Hey, come on MSN to talk." Because I wanted to have people to go back. Because I wanted to have
like it was some sort of almost like a cult or a religion or something. Like, hey, would you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior MSN?
Man, that was the good old days for sure. Jesus Christ, man. Yep.
What
favorite live shows, man?
Yeah, favorite live shows, man. What do you got?
Hands down, the best band I've seen live is Crystal Lake.
I would have bet that that's what you were gonna say, and I haven't seen them. I've just seen videos, but you've talked to me about it before. They seem insane live.
I was with Felix and I was with Sammy too and Dominique. I was with all Nephalite basically, and we were like adamant that it was the best set we've seen ever. Mm-hmm. Like every one of us were like, dude, that was game changer.
That's probably one of the last shows you saw before pandemic hit, right?
Yep. It was with
wasn't it with Era?
Was it? Yeah, Crystal Lake, Era, Currents, and North Lane was headlining.
Right, that's it.
Crazy. It was so good.
That's a pretty stacked bill.
The first band with Crystal Lake, and then Currents plays after.
No way.
Currents is awesome. It's a great metalcore band, but
no way Crystal Lake. Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah.
I just would have figured that Crystal Lake was a bigger band altogether too. I don't know if it's because they think their market is different here, but I mean, Currents isn't huge by all means.
Yeah, but I mean, since they're from Japan, it was like I think they're maybe their first or even second North American tour. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, all the more reason to put them higher up on the bill. I mean, we've seen it with Depths. Like the first time we went to the US or the first time we've hit certain cities, it's always been like, oh my God, like you guys are from Canada. Like we'll get the same reaction even if we were like in Detroit, which is like an hour away from fucking Canada. But like, there's just something about people thinking you're like you're a bigger band somehow. So that's why I'm saying like Crystal Lake, if it was like their first or second time like coming through, I'm sure a lot of people are seeing them for the first time and probably think they're fucking huge for being from Japan and being touring in the US right now, right? Like way more than Currents. Like
exactly.
I don't know the logistics of all that, but that's it sounds weird to me. And then if on top of it you're saying that like Crystal Lake was crushing it every night. I mean, poor Currents, man. They probably didn't want to. They probably didn't even want to play after that.
I remember they had like technical issues too, so I think it definitely wasn't their best set. I'd say Architects because it was like the best production I saw in a show like ever. Mm-hmm. It was larger than life. I think this band has achieved this level.
Yep.
And I mean, I want to say Counterparts just for the raw energy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like because it's it can just be because of feeling, right? Like a best show sometimes is just more about the memory, right?
Yep, it was. I saw them. Actually, I think you were there. It was. But were you? No, I don't think you were. Actually, it was a show with. It was at the Ritz. And it was Counterparts and like the other band of the Counterpart vocalist with Will Putney.
Oh, with the End.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I wasn't there.
Like
yeah.
And I think the headliner was 18 Visions, something like this.
Okay.
Not sure, but
that's such a niche tour. That's random, but that's pretty cool.
At the Ritz, it was like super packed. It was insane.
Yeah.
Counterparts at the Ritz was crazy. So what's yours?
Mine are kind of, I guess. Okay, I'll just go for it. Under Oath was like one of the better shows I've seen. They did they're only chasing after safety. And
you saw this tour?
Yeah. So they were doing those two albums back to back. And like that first album is just I've probably one of the albums I listened to the most in my life. So just seeing it in itself would have been cool. But then the energy in the room was just, I've never had that at another show. Like
really?
Sold out show. Literally every single person was singing every single lyric from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, like a 2-hour set. It was just...
Where was it?
It was in Silver Springs in Maryland. It was like 5.5-ish hours away. It was like I'm pretty sure it was the closest date. The only other date that would have made sense, I think, was Toronto. But it was kind of like the same distance, and I think Toronto was like on a weekday and Maryland was like on a weekend. So I was like, okay, that's gonna be the one we go to. And we got there like we ran late because of traffic, and we stepped into the venue probably like not even 5 minutes before they started playing their set. So like imagine like almost running from your car to get into the venue, and then there's like a line inside. It was like a 21 plus kind of show, and someone we were with didn't have like their passport on them, so they had to like go back to the car, but they had already been checked, and it was like a once you go in, you can't go, like once you go back outside, you can't go back in kind of policy. Ooh, I don't know if you've ever been to a show like that. Like it's basically like they search you once when you go in, like there's a full search thing. But then if you decide to go back outside, there's like no re-entry. They won't, like if you leave, you leave. They don't want people like going back outside to like smoke a cigarette or whatever. Like it's just like once you're in, and like that's it. But then they let us in. They searched us and everything. They let us in. And then I think we even gave our tickets. But then the person past the tickets that was checking IDs was like, well, you don't have our license, like driver's license wasn't enough. Like she needed like absolutely her passport. And then they were about to not let her come back in with her passport. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So by the time all of this is sorted out, man. Like we literally, I think we walked into the room and like the like kind of noise intro kind of started playing like as we stepped into the room. It was completely insane.
I mean, it adds to the anecdote, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that's for sure like up there for me. Dance Gavin Dance, I've seen them twice, and they're like by far, I guess, my favorite band of all time.
I never seen them live. I believe they're crazy.
Yeah, really good live. But then again, this is kind of like a circumstance thing. We went to see them in Toronto one of the times, and we were like, fuck it, we're going like front, like barricade style, like we want to be right in front. And we get a spot there, and it's pretty fucking cool because we're like right up, like not against the stage, but like against the gate, like behind the photo pit. And then I just happened to notice a guy that I know that's working photo at the gig. And so we notice each other, and he comes and says hi. And then between two of the first bands, like we start talking. And then while Dance Gavin Dance is playing, he like signals to us. He's like, hey guys, like come here. And like he let us in the front like barricades, like in the photo pit.
Damn, son. That's cool.
Yeah, because he's the house photographer. He's not like just like a hired like photographer that's there for the first 3 songs. He's there.
Yeah.
He works for the venue, and he was like, hey, like yeah, like you guys can come up front here. And we're like, really? Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, come on. So we were like a little bit off to the side, but like we were like in the front barricade. We had like an even like not necessarily like a crazier, better view than where we were up front, but we weren't touching anyone, right? Like in the front row of the like sold out show, we were like being slammed upon, like sandwiched from every side, and now we were like in front of the barricade, no one touching us. I was like, this is fucking cool. It almost felt weird. Like it brought me back to like watching bands while we were on tour and like playing shows and stuff, because we'd be able to be like side stage or like watching from somewhere where we're not like with a bunch of sweaty people. But I really appreciated that moment on top of Dance Gavin Dance just putting on an awesome show.
Of course, man. It's like the best way to watch a show, like being there, but without the inconvenience.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I get older, I'm like, yeah, I'm all for that. I used to not care about like standing in like on the side of the pit and like kind of having to watch my ass the entire time, but I'm not about that anymore. I have a bit more of a hard time dealing with it.
Well, every time I go to the MTELUS now, not the Metropolis in Montreal, I tend to go upstairs and just sit down and watch the show.
Yeah, that's it. Or I'll even sit further, like stand further in the back where it's like a bit higher up, more like towards the bar and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine from here. It's chill. I see everything. Man. No worries. Yeah, and then I mean, just real quick, I guess, because I couldn't. Those are definitely like two like super standouts for me. But Dark Sermon is one of those bands that we did just like a super short run with them, but their energy that they had live is something that I've always kind of carried with me as a vocalist, and I think that stands true for some of the other guys in Depths as well, where they were just like nonstop energy, especially the singer frontman, just like nonstop energy front to back, and like not talking between songs, just kind of facing their amps, but like going at it, like just like a short, like 25-minute set, but like all out nonstop. Yeah. That's always kind of
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I've always found that to be so cool. And I've just always kind of thrived for that. Ever since witnessing it, I was just like, that's it, like, if I'm going to play metal, that's what I want to look like. Like, that's my kind of vibe.
I remember when we started Nephalite and we were talking about what would be our like energy on stage. And I was like, dude, we just go up there, like, don't say anything, just like do our thing, like intense energy.
Yeah, just focused. Fuck shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Not like, hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah. We don't want that epic side, you know? We want the dark, the heavy. And I think it's I never seen a Dark Sermon show, but it feels like it's what you just said.
Yeah. They kind of changed over the over the course of their like albums afterwards. Kind of brought some props and staging into the mix as well. But it still remains like a super intense show from start to finish. Johnny, their singer, is just an incredible frontman that just knows how to move and like command a crowd without even really having to call much out. I've always believed that, like, you, especially being a frontman, like you definitely feed off of the energy of the crowd, but it goes both ways. I think a lot of people have it wrong, where they think that it's only like the people on stage that can feed off of the fans. But I definitely think, and I mean, from experience, definitely seen some shows where I've played where I've gone all out, even though the crowd was fucking sleeping for the bands before us, and same amount of people in the room, same awkwardness because there's not that many people and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, those people start moving around. And I don't think it has to do necessarily with the fact that our music was that much more movable or like cooler or played better, but I think the energy,
it's give and take.
The energy really has to do with it, and that's something we've always strived for when we played shows, and for myself personally, and yeah, like I said, I think that really comes from some early Dark Sermon shows that we were able to witness.
That's cool, man. That's great. I have to listen to him. I think I never listened to him, actually.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're into it. I think that's, especially their later albums, I think are actually right in your kind of genre. They do go a lot more kind of black metal-y, a lot more kind of feely, kind of lingering kind of riffs and stuff. I think you would really enjoy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right, we're going to
check it out for sure.
All right, we're going to wrap this up with a question that's going to be really easy to answer. That's going to be related to the podcast name, which is Breakdowns for Breakfast. So we'll do breakdowns another day. But for now, I want to know, what is your ideal breakfast? No limits.
That's a tricky question, actually. Recently, I've eaten some amazing waffles.
Okay. Waffles.
Waffles? Waffles?
Yeah.
Waffle House, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. And it was in a chalet with some friends, and one of her friends is a baker. And she does, cakes and everything. So she did a cake for my girlfriend because it was what?
Gourmet waffles.
Yeah, gourmet for sure, man. Listen to it. Listen to this. She did like a cake for the birthday of my girlfriend with some some fruits, and it was like a white chocolate ganache. With some vanilla and a melilo, which is a plant that it's like a Quebec vanilla, right?
Okay.
And it's delicious. And we had a bunch of leftover of this cream for the breakfast the other day. So we made waffles, and we spread that cream on the waffles with some fruits, and it was insane.
Okay, so
I took a picture, and now it's my background image of my phone because it's too pretty.
So we're talking handmade baker made waffles with cake dressing, not dressing, but like cake cream on top of it.
Dude,
that sounds like too much, but at the same time, I really want to try. Yeah.
It was perfect. Just the right amount of everything. What about you, man?
I mean, I'm going to be fucking boring after that. Honestly, like I can do, okay. Hear me out. 2 eggs. And like, usually I'll try not eat meat. So they've been doing like at Le Frier, they'll do these like vegetarian sausages, these vegan sausages. So I'll do like 2 eggs, then those kind of sausages, and but then the potatoes. That's where it's kind of I'm kind of split because I really do enjoy kind of cut up potatoes that have like a dressing, like a Cajun style kind of dressing to them.
Yes.
That's the shit.
Spices all around.
That's the shit. But there's this place. Have you ever been to Allô Mon Coco?
Actually, no, never.
Okay, so they do this thing where they do like mashed potatoes, but the mashed potatoes like in itself are like really fucking good. And then they ask you what
mashed potatoes.
What? Yeah, breakfast with mashed potatoes, and then you do an extra of cheese, and they ask you like what cheese because they can do cheddar or like fucking mozzarella, I don't know, and you ask for both, and they'll do like 50-50, and it's just like it's not like a lot of fucking breakfast places will just put like a slice of singles cheese like on top of your like as an if you ask for extra cheese on your shit, they don't even do like shredded cheese. It's just like a fucking.
They don't bother.
A slice that, they don't give a fuck. But this place they'll do like the like shredded cheese like for nachos, right? Like I don't know how to call it, and then it's like two types of cheese on your mashed potatoes, and it's hot enough that like it actually melts onto the potatoes. It's the best shit ever.
Man, I need to go right now.
Yeah, I mean,
do they operate breakfast like at
not at
10 in the night,
yeah, I doubt it. I mean, there are a few 24-hour breakfast places in Montreal, but unfortunately, those aren't part
McDonald's.
Of the group. No, fucking Miami, my guy.
Oh yeah, Miami, yeah, for sure.
24-hour breakfast.
Miami, more like Miami, mon gars.
Oh, I know, but playing it up for the English folks, All right, that's going to kind of wrap it up. We've been rambling on for like over 2 hours, but this was a really good time. This was long overdue, so I think we had like a lot of talking and catching up to do. But this was super fun. I hope the people watching aren't snoring right now, but I had fun regardless.
Yeah, me too, man. It was great to catch up, and hope we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, we don't really know how often we're going to be posting these. Future episodes will be more music and metal focused. We'll pick out some actual subjects and stuff and kind of discuss from there. And that's it. In the meantime, though, I'd like to remind people that on YouTube, there's the DeathlessTV YouTube channel, which is my channel where I do talk about metal and deathcore and all stuff music. I post new videos there once a week. So if we don't post a podcast every week, which most likely will not be the case, you can kind of go get your fix there. And there's also a DeathlessTV Discord server, which you can go and talk with a bunch of other people that are into the same kind of music. And we talk gaming and sports and a whole bunch of other things amongst talking about music. So if that's something you'd be interested in, it'll be in the show notes as well. And go check out Cedric's YouTube channel, Barely YGO. And his band Nephelite on Twitch and everywhere if you want to check them out on Spotify and anything like that. So is there anything else you'd want to add, my boy?
Nope, it's perfect. Perfect outro.
Cool. So I guess we'll end it there.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.